And for everyone to join, thank you so much. Okay, we are official. Thank you so much for joining. If you're joining us over here, please remember this official live, full live, is going to be over on TikTok at Oust Now Pod. So kind of hear this conversation, but we'd love it if you heard it in full. So make sure you're checking out the Oust Now Pod TikTok page, because that's where the full conversation is going to double check and make sure it's working. And there it is. That's where the full conversation is. Yep, full conversation.
I'm going to go ahead and try to do a live. So just stand by. I'm here. I'm a part of I'm going. Let's see what happens.
All right, we will start in about 5 minutes. Just give some folks some more time to join. Whether if you're joining us, you know that we tend to stream on a couple of places at the same time, and that's why we haven't been, because we were kind of having some limitations. But it looks like those limitations are now removed. So now we're back on here at Oust Now Pod. That is where the official live is. So that's where the full conversation is. So we want you to join the full conversation. And to hear that, make sure you're checking it out here, okay? Because this is where the full conversation is going to be. Another 3 minutes started with the official live. Thank you, everyone who's joining. We really appreciate it. Just a few more minutes. We're going to give some time for some more people to, and then we will get started. Please know that we do not have a moderator, but if you drop your comments in the chat, we will be able to see it. We will get it up here, okay? Olivia, thank you for joining in. So I will get quiet as far as interacting with you guys here, but just remember, interact with us over at the Oust Now page. That's where it's official. That's where you're going to hear the full conversation. Thank you so much, whoever is joining. We really appreciate it. All right. Almost time. Thank you, everyone who's joining. We appreciate you. Okay, almost there. All right, so we got about 2 minutes. All right, almost time. We're giving art just to give time for people to join. But again, that official conversation really is on at Oust Now Pod. That is where the full conversation is going to be. So join us there so you can hear the entire conversation and not just one side. All right, got about a minute left. Okay. All right. Almost there. All right, guys, the countdown is on. We got about 30 seconds in. Thank you so much, everyone who's joining. We appreciate you. Please remember that even if you can't catch the full live is always going to be available on here because it does get saved. On FB, it's there for about 30 days, and that's just how they work. But the full live will live here, and we will repost portions of it. onto our TikTok page, which is at Alice Now Pod. So you'll get to see the full conversation here. I absolutely will, you can join me here, stay here, that's fine, and hear my portion of this here. Okay, are you ready?
That's fine. Hear my portion. Whenever you are.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So let's do it. Thank you so much, everyone who's joining us. Alice Now Podcast. We are officially live. I'm sorry. I can hear everything that's going on in the background on your phone and stuff like that. I can hear here. I don't know if they can hear it. But we are officially going to start. Thank you, everyone who's joining. And there goes the dog. Oh, we love when that happens. I might have to mute myself. Do you want to... Hang on. Okay. It's kind of hard to ignore an almost 100-pound dog. He's very... He's very, very loud. But okay, let's get to it. Let's go ahead. I'm going to turn this music down and we're going to get it started. Thank you, everyone who's joining. Full conversation here at Alice Now Pod. You can stick here, get the full conversation at Alice Now Pod. That's the TikTok page. So let's do it. So there is a story that has went viral within the last week or so about a fellow who had a very unfortunate experience while he was flying, which ultimately led to a fight on Frontier. Of course, it's Frontier. Are we surprised? I'm not. If you have ever, flown that airline? I've had my own experience on that airline, so I can tell you, I'm not surprised. But, in this day and age, it's a really strange thing to kind of see when things go wrong, when you're just trying to fly to wherever it is that you're flying to, right? You just want to be, get on the plane, get to your destination, and that's it. But what happens when you encounter someone like this? Now, if I see someone like this on one of my flights, let me just play it again, just so you guys can really get the effect of it. Because if this man was on one of my flights, I would have been like, get me off of this plane. Let me go ahead and play it one more time.
Is it just me, or does it look like somebody has already battered and bruised him before the flight?
Oh, he did. No, that's what happened to him. Now we're not going to show the full fight because we just got access to be able to go live with what we're doing right now. We don't want to display that because we don't want to get dinged for violence as we're just kind of regaining that thing. But he got what was coming to him. The fella got what he was coming to him. It was well deserved.
Okay.
And, a lot of times the media gets it wrong because the media was, and we'll let the person speak for themselves.
Right.
But what I think is interesting and we'll play him. His name is Keanu, not Keanu Reeves. Can you imagine if it was? Keanu something.
You're right. I don't care what happened. He is correct. He is always right.
Yes.
I don't care what you say.
He is easy on the eyes. Let me just say. But
don't you talk about him. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead. I got distracted easily. It don't take much. But go ahead.
Well, wait. Okay, you guys, when you see the gentleman who basically did all this damage, and it was well deserved, by the way, let me say it again. You can't hop on a plane, start some mess, and think that it's all just going to be like, oh, everyone's just going to walk away or ignore you. If you put your hands on someone, it doesn't matter where you are.
You get what you get.
What's crazy is I was looking out the window and I was watching the sun set. I had my headphones on. I couldn't hear anything. I'm in my own world and I'm just admiring God's creation. the skies were beautiful, and I'm just like, wow, this is magnificent.
Child.
And as soon as the sun set completely and the sky went dark, that's when everything happened. This guy starts speaking to me in a way that I've never heard a human speak to anybody. He's laughing villainously, like, and it was just all evil. He's calling me immortal. He's calling me a puny man. He's calling me weak. He's saying all this stuff to just irritate my spirit and my soul, and everything in me just felt like there was some sort of like entity in him speaking to me. And it was dark. It was creepy. It was just, man, like, yo, get right with God. Like, get right with God. If you ain't doing it now, there's no better time. It's not too late.
Now, this is what happens when you put your hands on someone else. Regardless of what their level of faith is, everyone is entitled to basically defend themselves. And this landed this guy here with, I'm sorry, try not to. This is what happens. Thank you, TMZ.
I'm trying to be adult, right?
I am too, but not in this moment. I am not an adult in this moment. He deserves that black eye. Well,
I feel bad because, and you're probably gonna laugh at me for this one, but it's just legit. Like, it's actual how I'm feeling in this moment right now, right? So he was on there talking about getting right with God, and I'm over here lusting at about how cute he is. Like, girl, grow up, Janine.
I was thinking the same thing, but because in my brain I was like, wow, he's, and I was like, fix your face.
Like, girl, pull it together.
And then when the guy who got
talking about the Lord.
But he's a man of faith. Like, when you hear him talk, he's a faithful man. So it's kind of like, to get someone like that who is of the faith to do this kind of damage. Let me pull it up one more time so you guys can kind of see what we're talking about. For a man of faith to do something like this, it could only be in self-defense. And it's weird how he felt like he had this, it seemed like he had a feeling way before, when the sun went down, he was feeling like something was coming, just by the way he was talking in that other video. I almost want to play it again just to kind of make sure. Did you get that same sense?
I feel like he was definitely feeling the energy, and he wasn't really for sure maybe what it was he was feeling. And I think I'm not going to say we have all been there at times, so I'm not going to say that. But I am going to say I have been there, right? I have been there where something was feeling kind of off, and I really wasn't for sure what it exactly was, but it just wasn't feeling, it just wasn't a good feeling. And maybe when we get off the live, I'll go further into detail with that with you. But on the live currently, like, I think we all have been, or I can say I've been in a situation like that. Even when people say certain things, and you're like, you have to sit with it, right? And you're like, what are they saying? What did they say? Like, you got to come back and kind of, and it just doesn't sit well. It doesn't resonate. You know that something is not right with that individual, or something is going on with that individual, whether it has to do with you or not. And maybe he really wasn't for sure if it really had to do with him. Maybe he was feeling like something.
The energy.
Right.
I mean, the energy in the room is a thing. You can feel that. And remember, like, that guy from the shoe show whose energy I was like all the way off, like, you need to get away from me. A couple weeks back, I was like, let's go over here.
Yes.
So maybe he ain't know. But isn't it weird that in this day and age, like, I don't know, like the biggest thing we worry when it comes to like safety on the airline is that there's a lot to be worried about. There's a lot to be worried about these days when it comes to flying. So much so that I'm like, I'd be okay if I never got on a plane again. Like, I'd be totally fine with it. But you realize it's a means to an end to get places faster. So you kind of accept it and acknowledge, but you don't expect to be assaulted while you're just trying to go about your business on an airline, no less.
On an airline or anywhere for that matter. Like,
Anywhere.
as a person that has been assaulted, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But then there's no place to go either. Like, if you're on the street, you can run. But there ain't no place to go.
I know what it feels like to be trapped and not really have anywhere to go. Because you know what happened to me, right? Once upon a time.
Yeah.
So I really know what that feels like, and I think that's why he had the response he had, and he was not playing.
No. This is what happens when you.
Girl, can you show that picture again?
FAFO. He ain't no God who was on that man's side.
You have to be careful who you playing with. You have to leave God's children alone, honey. Because what you think is gonna happen is usually what not. God, I can't get my words together. What you're expecting to happen is usually not what happened. You don't get the end result like that. Like, he didn't see that coming. He did not. No. If he would have known, like if he had like a way of looking into the future, like a little crystal ball, he would have known not to do that day. But we got FAFO. I'm just saying, we were thoroughly entertained because of that moment.
Yes, ma'am. Now, there's people that I think, like this man, I can't, maybe he was suffering some sort of psychological episode. It's a possibility. But I sometimes, like, there is someone that is in the big public eye that I look at, and every time I look at that person, I feel like they're doing the work of like, yeah. Every time I look at that person, I was like, I think it. And I don't often think of people in that respect. But for that particular person, I'm like, you're not doing the work of. You're doing the work of. There's a yeah.
You're gonna have to.
And I won't say who it is.
You're definitely gonna have to give me that information, maybe.
Yeah, that's a conversation. That's a conversation. I wouldn't even put that anywhere in. No, girl. There's a person that is pretty prominent that every time I look at them, I feel like, man, you are the.
What?
Yes. And maybe I'm wrong to look at them that way, but the things that they do, I feel that way. But I think that there are people that walk that you can feel, whether if it's they're having a bad day, just for themselves, maybe they're triggered, maybe they're having some sort of mental health issue that's causing them to project it. You can feel it. And I think this man was definitely feeling it. Like, why else would he have these thoughts right before he has this really major incident that makes national news?
A warning, probably. He was getting that warning. He's definitely said that he believes so. It's probably the Holy Spirit telling him,
God is trying to tell you something.
Honey, they say that the good Lord gives you everything that you're going to need in life. And clearly, he gave him everything he was going to need for this fight right here on this goddamn plane. He gave him everything he was going to need.
All he needed was this. All he needed was this.
And it was done. That quick.
And now we wish that we could share the footage, but like we're afraid to do anything crazy when it comes to doing live because we just don't want to get dinged. But if you just look up this guy right here, you can see a lot of the footage because it did make mainstream news. So just Google this fella here, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about, and you'll probably be able to see the real-time footage of
I would like to take
that.
the chance to clarify a few things.
But here
I'm
he
getting
is in
many
his own
comments like the
words.
one above of people
Girl, I'm all
saying that
in.
I provoked that man during the flight. First thing first, Good Morning America, ABC News, they have the narrative wrong. That's not the truth. They didn't take the time to ask any witnesses who were close by and actually witness the real thing, what happened. They interviewed the two girls who were at the front of the flight who videotaped what happened from a distance, whose video went viral. They interviewed them. They didn't even see what happened. All they saw was the aftermath. They seen and heard commotion going on in the back, and then they start recording their phone after we're fighting. And you guys want to go with that narrative. I've been getting a lot of hate speech. I've been getting a lot of negative comments, but I'm also getting an overwhelming amount of support. And for everybody who does support and is taking the time to go down the rabbit hole and find the truth, thank you. ABC, Good Morning America, I wish you guys would reach out and actually get the true story. There's plenty of witnesses who were around me in the vicinity, and they posted their own testimony to social media, and it aligns with the story that I told WSVN and what happened. I was the one who got out of my seat and went to the restroom. I was the one who told the flight attendants about the disturbed man who was sitting behind me because I was in the front seat and he was in the back seat, and I informed them that this man is giving me threats and he's saying things to me. Before I even got up out of my seat, I had my headphones on. I'm listening to music. I'm looking outside of the window, admiring the sunset, and I hear somebody faintly laughing behind me. I can't hear it that loud because my headphones are on, but he was laughing that loud that I could hear him faintly in my headphones. I thought it was just a normal person watching a movie on their phone, some kind of funny movie, and I paid it no mind. But the two young women who were sitting next to me, they kept breaking their neck to look back to see what he was laughing at and what was wrong with the guy. And after they multiple times kept looking back, it made me a little worried. So I took my headphones off and I looked at them, and they looked at me with concern about the person behind me. I turn around and I ask the guy, "Are you good?" And he starts doing that villainous laugh again. Ha 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 ha. You're nothing but a weak man, a mortal man, a puny man. Like, he's saying things like that to me, nobody else. To me. I didn't even know this guy was behind me the entire flight. I just start laughing about it because I think it's funny. I'm like, what's wrong with this crazy guy? Why is he talking to me like that? I just get up. I'm like, I go to the restroom and the flight attendants are right there. So I say, "Hey guys, there's a disturbed, deranged man behind me. He's giving me things like death threats and stuff like that. I'm just letting you know that if he puts his hands on me, like, I'm gonna defend myself." I tell them that. They're like, "It's okay. We basically already know about what's going on." They let me know that they were aware of him. And they told me to go back to my seat and press the button if he continues. So I do just that. I walk back to my seat. As I'm sliding back through the aisle to get to 18F, which is where I was sitting, he's jawing off at me again. "Oh, you weak man, you go to the restroom and you're looking at yourself in the mirror because you're just a weak man. If you challenge me, it will lead to your death and your destruction." He's saying evil things like this to me. And as soon as he starts jawing off again, I just get up, I press the button, and I turn around and I question him. I said, "Yo, what's your problem? I'm not with any of that demonic stuff that you have going on." And he gets up immediately. He puts his forehead on my forehead, face to face, and he grabs me with both of his hands and he starts to choke me. You guys are saying things, "Oh, if you're a man of God, why didn't you use your words? Why didn't you rebuke him?" What would you do if you were in a confined space on an aircraft and another stranger you don't know stands up and starts to choke you? I defended myself. I did what any rational person would do. Okay? I genuinely concerned for this man, Ashan. whatever demon, whatever situation he was going through, I pray that man gets the help that he needs, because that is not okay. When is it okay to put your hands on another human being on a flight for no reason, unprovoked? I did nothing to him. I was minding my business the entire time. I was prepared for all the racist comments and the hate speech and things like that, and honestly, it doesn't faze me. The only thing that upsets me is that these news outlets are reporting false narratives, and everybody is starting to run with it and believe it. Take the time. Go to WSVN on Instagram. Go on YouTube. Go to WSVN and search the news and listen to the story. There's a young woman named Melissa who was on the flight, and she was helping break up the fight. She was right there when everything happened, and she tells the entire story on her Instagram. I will tag her Instagram in the comments. Go watch it for yourself. Don't believe everything the news puts out. They just put out silly narratives without having the real truth behind the entire story. Thank you to everybody who's supported me. Thank you to everybody who's reached out to me with encouragement. You guys have been nothing but uplifting through this entire experience. Everything in my life just changed overnight, all because of this one incident. I don't condone violence. I don't condone things like that, but I also don't believe it's okay for another man to attack another man unprovoked. I don't believe in that. And I believe you have every right to defend yourself, and that's exactly what I did. You know, a lot of people want to hear more about the story and they want to know what's going on, but I'm honestly getting tired of this. Every day I've waken up and it's been more and more and more commotion and more people reaching out to me, and it's just getting overwhelming. So this is the last thing I'm just going to post about the story. I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys want something more in depth, then I may post something on YouTube at some point, but just stay connected to me. Follow my page, like my page, subscribe to my page, subscribe to my YouTube, whatever the case may be if you're looking for more. But right now, I just need some time and some space. So hey, God bless you guys and take care.
I'll subscribe. I'll follow you.
Same. If you see him on the cover of like Vogue or Men's Health or something like that, because it's like the hot felon. Lord. Isn't that crazy?
Like, honey, listen. I'm on your side, boo. Okay. I'm gonna grow up. But not before I say I'm your fan, honey. I got you.
Number one fan.
Okay. I'm gonna get back focused.
Okay.
I do feel bad for him. The way he said that his life has changed like overnight behind one incident.
Yeah.
But honey, clearly for the better, because we all know you.
I don't know. Like, I can't imagine. I don't know if this is for the better. I'm sure.
I was having a childish moment, girl.
I don't know.
Sorry. Honey. Are you on PLF? I'm sorry. Anyway.
Girl.
Okay, wait. I'm so my bad. On to the real conversation here. All jokes aside, like legit. All jokes aside. Okay. So, I do feel bad for him in the way that his life has really did change overnight. Legit, right? Not only that, but it kind of reminds me of a situation, and I don't want to take the story off of him. But if you remember a long time ago, and we covered that story, where people were saying a lot of things about this lady, and the news was saying a lot of things about this lady, and how she provoked her son.
Yeah, season 2. One of the first episodes we did in season 2.
Correct.
Yep.
Provoked her son to do something, and it was all over the news. And I came to you and I said, no, I think we should cover this story, and I do not believe that the news has it right. It's okay. At least it didn't say Dateline. Could you hear me?
Dang. I couldn't even mute it here. I was like, wait. Yes, we have reminders for bath time.
It kind of, which, never mind. I was going to say something, but I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that there. It kind of reminded me of that story where the news had it completely wrong. Yeah. They even arrested the woman. And it was absolutely false. It's not what happened. And then it was actually social media, eyewitness of what happened, and the full video that exonerated her and her son, from my understanding, of what happened. So. Right?
Yeah, we should do a follow-up on that just to see like what came of it.
Just to see how things turned out.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, and this kind of reminds me of that in a way, because I feel like the media got the clip, social media got the clip, and then once again, mainstream media, news reporters or whatever covered the story and covered it, and maybe didn't have the full story. And I would think when you are covering a story, you want to get both sides, and you don't really want to have an opinion, so to speak. I feel like what we do is a little different, because I'm going to say my opinion.
Yeah, we're opinion based. We're not like
and my opinion is he is fine, and I'm happy you won. Okay.
He didn't walk away with no black eye.
You still look just as fine as you started, honey. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get it together, and I'm gonna grow up somewhere before we end this hour.
So if you're just joining, let's just go back to this fella so you know where some of this is coming from, because he is so easy on the eyes. So just hang on one second.
What's crazy is I was looking out the window and I was watching the sun set. I had my headphones on.
He's pretty.
That's enough said. Say no.
I mean, so if you don't understand what it is that we're like batting the eyelashes and all the rest, I mean, don't be surprised if you won't see him on like a fashion magazine cover, because he's like gorgeous. Like he doesn't even have makeup on.
Nothing.
And you see how clear, like, come on. I need a filter.
Are you gonna listen?
I got.
Are you gonna do a self-defense class, honey? Because sign me up.
Where and when? Where and when?
Show me how to give that one like you gave that one too.
We will say this, and would you say for you or for me? Because I know that story that we did in season 2, that was when I really started to look at the news differently. In fact, like I did a video on this about the fact that I don't look to a lot of these, what we knew growing up. We would go to certain news outlets, and that's where we get the news. But if we want to we now look at the news differently. I'm not saying we look at TikTok as our main news source, but you can go on TikTok and find out pieces of that story that you didn't know because the news got it wrong.
I agree.
But do you look at the news differently now?
first of all, if I'm being 100% honest, um, I, I, I've never been big on the news anyway. That's one. Um, and not because I have an issue with current events or anything like that. I feel like with most things, I feel like and I could be wrong, and so I want to be mindful because I definitely don't want to get us dings. But I don't know if they put a lot of emphasis on facts versus story. Getting a story out, getting a story out while it's mainstream, I guess, or while it's hot, while it's fresh, while it's new, and getting those facts straight before we get this fresh story out. And maybe that's what
I mean,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It could. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's what they did. No, that's what they did. Good Morning America, ABC. They were looking for the story, but they didn't really get the facts of it. Like had they interviewed the man himself,
that would help.
He wasn't arrested. He wasn't in jail. That might have helped a lot get the facts of the story.
I was thinking that. I was so thinking that when he was talking, I was like, well, the first thing I would have thought if I was covering the story is who in the heck got locked up? And that's usually an indicator.
In case you didn't know, he got locked up.
Don't ever say nothing about me being petty, ever.
That was real petty. Well, catch the full conversation here at Alice Now Politics Talk.
Girl.
Let me pull out my petty card one more time.
Did they not look at the damn mugshot before they went with the story?
I'm sorry, but TMC gets the mugshot first.
That's crazy.
Please tell me what a flip that is.
How does that happen exactly? Girl, they be on it. They be fact checking clearly.
Better than Good Morning America and ABC News, apparently.
And I'm gonna be so honest. Like real talk, like I'm not even playing. If he wouldn't have said that he was so tired of talking about it or addressing it, I would be on here like, hey, you want Alice Now Podcast would love to have you in more ways than one. But we would love to I mean, not you. Yeah, not you. You're married.
No, I can't partake. I can look because I'm not dead or blind. Well, maybe kind of blind, but I can see a lot with these.
But he said that he was
half blind without my glasses.
Okay. Look, I definitely feel like if he wouldn't have said that, I so would have been like, girl, maybe we should reach out to him and ask him to. I'll pause.
It's your nephew.
Okay.
A hit and run. Nah.
I was gonna ask. I was like, "Is it my state?"
It's deuce.
Okay. But if he didn't say that in that last clip, I'd have told him like, "Girl, maybe we need to start begging." I'll beg. Can I be the one to beg? I don't.
Truth be told, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, no. He said he's tired.
Yes! I was like, oh, dang. He said he's tired. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore. And I could see that because I can only imagine in a short period of time how overwhelming that is.
Like, you want to go viral, but not for something like this.
Right.
Like, give it something good news, not like you having to defend yourself.
Behind something. And for them to say that he was the one that provoked it. Yeah, I could see that being very, very stressful. especially when they're talking about your character, they're talking about your character. They're saying,
Yes. Yes.
you know, I think that's
Mhm.
so it has to be tough. But if it wasn't for the fact that he made that comment on that video, and if you're not too tired, if you get a burst of energy,
If you're not too tired and you reach out because you'd be willing to do the interview, there's that email address and just say guests in the subject.
I have such a headache, and laughing makes it hurt even worse, but I can't control it. I want to not laugh because my yeah, I'm like, man, honey, if you want to talk about it, you ain't even got to talk about that, boo. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
How your life has changed since this happened for the positive.
There it is. Yeah.
Is there, I mean,
yeah.
Do you see anything positive coming of this? I mean, I can't imagine, like, I just can't, I don't see it. Right now, I can't see it.
So do you think this is his one moment of fame and it just sucks that this is what it is?
You know, I take that back.
I'm listening.
Maybe the positive is that this gentleman here, who is very creepy as he walks his way down this, maybe he will get the help that he needs. Like, I can't imagine imagine walking through life that way. So
that's why I love you. That's why you my girl, because that is such a positive, profound way of looking at it. Is that it might be something off, and maybe this is the only way he could possibly get what he needs.
I mean, people suffer from mental health issues all the time. Like, it's not. There's no stigma. There's no stigma for anyone who might be suffering from anything. Like, this seems a little severe. Not a little. That to walk around like that is severe. Maybe he was off. I mean, maybe he was off his meds. Like, there was someone I used to deal with that after, I'm like, he must have been off his meds, because whenever this person would go off their meds, the interactions with this person in the workplace was different. He was aggressive, right? And everyone would say it wasn't just me. They were like, he must be off his meds again.
Damn.
And everybody,
somebody. I'd be scared to work with somebody like that. No, all jokes aside, right? Like,
I mean, it's true.
That's dangerous.
Because you don't know.
They might be. This might be the day.
I mean, like, look at Mr. West. You know, when he gets off of his, he'll do things that are kind of, and it kind of, that right here, this guy just seems like to the extreme, to basically assault somebody. Or maybe he just was, he was feeling possessed. Maybe he was feeling possessed, or maybe that's because that's kind of where he started from. As a man of faith, he felt like, hey, how blessed am I? Or whatever, he was feeling some messages from God, and then something like this happens. And he even said that the guy he felt like was possessed. But you could be possessed by many a thing, like your internal dialogue. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's if you know what I mean.
I feel and we definitely talked about this before. We're not fighting against things that we see. We're definitely fighting against the unseen and the things that we don't see. And whatever that is, for whomever that is.
Sorry, I got a puzzle piece. Okay. Sorry. I got a puzzle piece. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know what I'm doing. Join the full conversation on the @OusNow TikTok page, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you have to. What's the word I'm looking for? I had a chain of thought and I got distracted with the puzzle piece. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. It was.
It's really not a big deal.
I just sent you. I just sent you a message.
That's it. The finding things we can't see, and whatever that is, for whom because like you said, like 2 seconds ago, it could. This is a reminder.
Your turn. Dateline reminders.
Shut up!
If you're on this full TikTok page and the full conversation, you'll
What
hear
was
it.
the point of pausing? I'm like, what was the point of me muting it? For you to
We hear everything.
mute it.
We heard it.
You can still hear it even though I muted you?
Yes.
How could you hear it even though I muted you?
Maybe you didn't mute it. I say something.
Something.
I hear you.
Girl. Happy I ain't saying. Happy I'm not saying anything inappropriate because
we have some technical difficulties. Things don't always act like we want it to act. And that's particularly with technology. Yeah, we hear everything. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. I'm like, we can hear everything, right? It's coming through. Yeah, like when you dropped your phone, it was like.
Well, thanks for telling me.
Okay. We digress.
No, I'm gonna have to figure out why it's not muting. It's supposed to mute. That, like when you hold it up, it's supposed to mute. It's not muting.
It's not. It's not.
I think I know what it is, girlfriend. Oh my goodness. I know what it is.
Is there a special mute button? Listen here.
Girl, that's crazy.
Now it sounds different. I don't know what you did.
Can you hear me?
Yes, like a wind funnel, like you're driving in a car.
Oh my God. Hold on.
No, now I cannot hear you.
Maybe I should have left it on the camera because you couldn't hear my fan before, right?
No, I couldn't. Now I can hear it. Oh, that's funny. So wait, that's funny. I'm like, we can hear everything,
I was like, how?
Tell you, it's like,
I think that's why I looked at you so odd. I was like, what is she talking about?
I'm like, we can hear everything. Like every time you went on the TT, it was kind of like, I'm like, we can hear it, right? I didn't realize that you didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Damn it.
Okay. Look, we have some technical difficulties. Listen, sometimes technology has its own mind, and we have our own mind, and somewhere it doesn't meet in the middle.
We just do not come together sometimes. I was so trying to understand what the heck you were talking about when you was like, I can hear you. I was like, what the hell is she talking about?
I'm like, I can hear everything. That means I can hear everything too. It's okay.
Beside
Listen,
the point.
guys.
You think
we make it look good? It ain't always easy.
There you go. Hey. Do you think maybe that's the angle that he would not mind sharing, like how it had a positive, or it's probably not the time because he's probably getting like emails left and right and.
Yeah, and from a lot of people, I imagine TMZ is all over it.
Like,
there's a lot of people,
and I'm pretty sure they can pay.
Exactly, we can't. But I would love it if Good Morning America or ABC
Let's fix
News
it.
who's reporting it wrong, fix it.
I agree.
Like, it's okay to make a mistake. Like, there's nothing. We are all, what business people, individuals. You can make a mistake. It's not unheard of. But then when you know it, set the record straight. Like, we've done that before. When someone thought that we misunderstood something, and it was like, well, let's just set this record straight because maybe it's just a misunderstanding, as opposed to. But that's the right thing to do. I mean, Good Morning America. Like, you guys have been
and invited them on the show when we realized that it was a misunderstanding, right? We was like, hey, you know what?
Absolutely.
Since you feel like we had that wrong or wasn't fully understood, we apologize. We'll fix it, and now you can come on and talk about it if you want to. They never took us up on the invitation.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay. It's not. I'm in my feelings a little bit about it. Like, dang, what's the problem? Let's talk about.
I'm not saying they wouldn't have been a great guest. He would be even a better guest.
Girl, yeah.
Even better. Just saying.
Girl, you ask all the questions while I sit there and be like this.
Me like that.
I got one question and one question only. Are you single?
I have a feeling. I would find it really hard to believe if that man said he was single.
Girl, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Look, nowhere possible, honey. It's impossible.
And if he is, maybe that's why he's trying to get right with the Lord. And focusing on that part of his life.
No, he's probably definitely not single, but he definitely did give that guy the 1-2, and he so deserved it. Girl, where'd you go? I don't know. Should I keep talking or should I be quiet?
I have a little visit. Okay, dog out too. Everybody out. Okay. Had some visitors.
I definitely, I definitely wouldn't mind wanting to know if or how it has affected him in a more positive way. It's easy for us to pick out the negative things, especially on the outside looking in. But I saw a lot of positive.
Same. But, he does seem like a positive person, because if you watch, there's this one video here that I was like, okay. And I'm good. Let's go ahead and watch it really quickly. Because I
haven't spoke much about my story. I just want to give a little testimony to my followers and the people who are connected with me on my page. I just want to shed some light on whatever you're going through, man. Like, if you're giving your life to God and you're trying to get closer to Jesus, don't stop. Don't stop, man. The enemy is going to do everything that he can to stop you and prevent you from getting to that final destination, which is them pearly gates. And just know that when he's with you, anything is possible. You can accomplish anything. And I'm truly grateful for the amount of people who have been giving me overwhelming support and love and care. And I just want to say thank you to everybody.
So he does seem very positive. Like, he would take a positive. I just don't I don't know. I don't know what a positive could be, because now he's highlighted all over national news. Now he's forced to kind of have to talk about this on social media so he can plead his side, because GMA and ABC is getting it wrong. Like,
I think you said it. I think you definitely said it. Maybe the positive side, even though it has to do with him, maybe it doesn't have to do with him specifically, if that makes sense. I'm gonna tell it could have to do with that young man and him and his family, or whatever they're dealing with, or whatever he's dealing with, clearly mentally. No, let me not say that. Mentally and spiritually. However you look at things. But then again, I'm gonna take it a step further, which recently happened to me in a discussion. So I was having a discussion with somebody, and I was kind of talking about where I was at, and the person was like, "But people are watching you." And even though you don't think that you're having this effect or this positive light, you do. And so even though he may have gotten pushed into the light because of this experience, the way he talks and the stuff that he speaks of is very positive. So this may really shed a light to him, even though it was this actual altercation that brought him to the forefront. It still may be a way to get all of the other things that he's probably been saying that maybe no one really noticed he was saying because he wasn't pushed out there. I didn't know who he was before this. Did you?
No.
No. And he might have had a good following, or he might have had people that was following him, but maybe he wasn't as big as he is now. And now whatever his message is, especially him talking about God and getting right and all of those things, now that message is for everybody to see. So there definitely is some positive in this situation that we're looking at like, and they're looking at like,
yeah. And do you remember we've had this conversation before related to other things about how like God will use you, and while you sit here and think like, why am I having this experience? Like, why am I going through this struggle? We don't understand it because it's affecting us negatively, but sometimes God uses you to bring this message to this other person. Now, we made light of it in the beginning, but what is the bigger thing here? Like we've both had like negative things that came, and then we didn't understand what it was about. But then when you look fast forward, it comes together and you're like, oh, that's what it was about. Yes. Little people. But that's an important thing. Like, and we've had that conversation recently. And, when I was going through that thing with the school, it was like, okay, why am I having this problem? Why was this happening to me? And I think like that was the catalyst to get that person, not the catalyst, but the spark for the school to be like, this person doesn't belong here. So, or even, I don't want to speak for you, but sometimes that's a hard thing to receive. But sometimes you may walk around looking like the bad person, but in reality, you were the one that was sent to provide this message for somebody else. That is, yeah. That's some deep stuff right there.
Yeah.
Whether you're a believer or not, you can look at it from a believer standpoint or just things falling into place the way that they should. But you're right. Like, had this not happened, maybe he is supposed to bring more of the word to people. And now he is.
And now he can. And now, and I want to hear what you got to say. Maybe not for this.
Let's just hear his message one more time, and you guys take note of his TikTok username.
I haven't spoke much about my story. I just want to give a little testimony to my followers and the people who are connected with me on my page. I just want to shed some light on whatever you're going through, man. Like if you're giving your life to God and you're trying to get closer to Jesus, don't stop. Don't stop, man. The enemy is going to do everything that he can to stop you and prevent you from getting to that final destination, which is them pearly gates. And just know that when he's with you, anything is possible. You can accomplish anything. And I'm truly grateful for the amount of people who have been giving me overwhelming support and love and care. And I just want to say thank you to everybody.
What was it, Aaron? Oh, Keanu Evans. So make sure you guys are following him on TikTok. As I will be making sure I am shortly. I'm like, that wasn't in this live right now. I'd be like all up in there. Lord have mercy. Oh my gosh.
I said I was going to grow up before this hour is finished, and I think I'm going to have this moment probably in the divide. But
okay. But I love that you said like maybe the bigger piece is this man's going to get some help. Like I don't know if jail is the answer, but clearly he's going through something. If you want to look at it spiritually, or if you want to look at like mental health wise, like it's all in that same realm. Some people might look at it differently, but he's clearly struggling, because someone who's struggling would walk through life that way, and maybe he'll get some help. And unfortunate that it's at this Keanu's expense, but yeah.
And now his message is going to be out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So those are two positives. We weren't seeing it initially. At first, we were just laughing about the news. And then did this, which is kind of scary. I would like, don't come near me. That's very villainous. But yeah. Oh man. But thank you everyone who's joined us. We are so grateful for everyone who's, and just remember, if you're unable to catch this full live, it will be available on immediately, and then we'll get this uploaded on top. But we give when it comes to like experiencing bad situations, and then we just don't see it in that moment. But I think that's the message. Thank you guys. Stick around for next week. Oh my gosh, did you hear them? Sometimes they'll have like random outbursts, and I'm like, oh my God. But thank you guys for joining. That is the end of today's episode. Catch us next Sunday. Just remember, it is the summer. We try to go weekly. That's the goal. Do we ever always accomplish it? No. But don't forget to fill out that poll so we can figure out the right days and times. Okay? Thank you for joining.
As always, thank you for joining us. Time is something that you cannot get back. And the fact that you take time out of your day and your busy schedules to share it with us, we cannot express our gratitude. You guys and girls have an awesome night.